Hey guys, it's Adam from Tested and I'm at Aardman Animation in Bristol, England. Aardman is famous, of course, for their unique style of animation that utilizes modeling clay. Now, at the beginning of a feature film project, they have to mix up sometimes hundreds and hundreds of pounds of modeling clay, and because that clay might be dispersed among 15 different versions of a single character, the color has to match exactly. In addition, it also has to match with other materials like hard polyurethane and silicone, and the man in charge of all that is senior modeler and color maestro Jay Smart. He's going to walk me through the food processing machines that he uses to keep the color consistent at Aardman. Jay, obviously if the animators are animating the characters using modeling clay, you have to produce a lot of modeling clay. Can you talk to me about some of the challenges in getting that clay right, both in terms of color and consistency?
Yeah, sure. So basically we get it in bar form, as you can feel it's quite soft and sticky.
Oh yeah, it's very soft and sticky.
Yeah, so it's no good for the animators really, especially it's a very hot day today as well, so they need something slightly stiffer. So what my job is to do is to make the colour first, and to make it stiffer we use a bit of chalk.
Oh, so you add chalk into the mix.
So basically what we're doing is just adding chalk. It varies, it depends because the bars change. Sometimes they're soft, sometimes they're slightly firmer. Mm-hmm. So you've got to play it by ear a little bit. And it's a bit of guesswork, and you kind of go backwards and forwards to the animators to make sure they're happy with it.
So if it's too soft, you add chalk. What happens if it's too hard?
If it's too hard, you can stiffen it with things like petroleum jelly, Vaseline, and linseed oil.
Okay.
Which I'm doing at the moment, actually.
Now, consistency is one thing, but color is much more important, right? You have to match the color across a year and a half of filmmaking.
Yeah, of course.
Do you mix the color constantly throughout production?
The trick is I try and overmix sometimes so I don't have to do it. If you're doing a batch at the beginning, it's not too bad, you've got a bit of leeway. Once you're into production and you're run out, that's got to hit absolutely match straight on.
And that's a really tough challenge.
It's really
to
tough,
color
yeah.
match.
It really is.
How do you guys mix this stuff together? How do you mix in the chalk? I mean, you must...
Well, so I can actually show you. I can give you an example.
Oh, please.
So what we're going to do here, we're going to do slightly a pink colour skin tone.
Okay.
Which we've run out of.
Oh, I didn't realize we're going to mix this right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I've got some ready to go. So what I'll do, so yeah, I've got actually 3 colours here. We try and keep it as low as possible, the amount of colours. Sometimes you get 6 or 7 colours, but we'll stick with 3 there. And that's it. I'll try and get the colour first before I put any chalk in. So, okay. So I'll take a few minutes just to kind of mix in.
Wow.
And actually with because obviously I write recipes and things a lot of the time, but when we get a new batch from the factory, I mean, their pigment levels change a lot. So a red to them is just, because it's for kids, a red's a red.
Right.
I mean, to us, you need to be spot on. So generally it's quite a challenge.
Your recipes change?
My recipes change.
Oh,
it's generally there as a guideline. Then it's all by eye really. Also, I find with colour, just every room you're in, it changes. It's a different colour.
Yeah, yeah.
Every light source is different. Yeah, it's tricky as well. With the chalk with this machine, it can take a lot of chalk. So if you put too much in, it'll just go to dust, and it'll just take forever to catch again. Then.
Oh, really?
So if you whack a load of chalk in there, it will eventually, but it will just go like really pebbly and really dusty, and it could take like an hour or so to kind of catch.
Oh, wow.
To thicken up again. So I really do it very slowly, which takes forever.
This color doesn't necessarily just have to match silicone, but also hard polyurethane if necessary.
Yes, it matches the hard polyurethane resin, silicone, sometimes also rubber inks, because this is foam. Occasionally you have a bit of flesh showing, so you might have to paint a bit of flesh color on there. So potentially 4 different things, all having to look the same as well.
Right.
And absorbing light at the same rate. So in the hand it may look different, on screen hopefully it will look right.
Can I?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
See him. Oh, he's just beautiful. Look at that. Oh, so this is silicone, this is hard polyurethane, this is modeling clay, and all their colors have to match each other. That's incredible.
So now I'm pretty happy with the color. I'm going to start to add chalk and it'll stiffen up. You just generally add it very slowly, otherwise it can go very dusty. So I'll put a little bit at a time, sit back.
What is this machine used for normally?
Well, I believe before Chicken Run, it was used as a chewing gum machine, a bubble gum machine.
Making bubble gum?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think before Chicken Run we generally did things, we had smaller batches, we did things by hand.
Yeah.
Obviously when Chicken Run started there was a lot more plasticine, we had to do a lot more loads, so we needed something bigger.
How many pounds of clay can you process in this at once?
This machine here, generally, it's about a box which is about 10 kilograms. I'm not sure what that is in pounds.
22 pounds.
22 pounds, yeah.
And how much plasticine might you process for an entire feature film?
Well, some of the lead characters generally have about 12 boxes. I think I've worked out on this, there was about 550 kilograms, almost half a ton, I think,
wow.
in total.
That's astounding. That's a lot of just sitting here and mixing.
Yeah, I think we ordered about a ton of modeling clay, and we've used about half a ton for the characters.
Do different animators prefer different densities of modeling clay?
Yeah, of course, they all have their different preferences, but you have to go somewhere kind of in between.
Does adding the chalk also change the color slightly?
It can get a little bit milkier.
Yeah.
Obviously it goes a little bit whiter. So you have to bear that in mind. So when I do my samples, I always add the chalk to make sure that it matches the color as well.
How did you get the job of being the color matching clay specialist? What in your past led directly to this?
Well, I came from an art background, art course.
Yeah.
Really just need an eye for color.
Yeah.
You kind of assume everyone's got an eye for color, but actually, you know, a few people can do it. There was a lady here before me, but I've been doing it now for like 15 years.
Wow. It was one of my first jobs as an assistant animator for cell animation, was mixing the colors beneath, you know, whether it was between 1, 2, or 3 layers of acetate.
Wow.
Because it's always a different color depending. And I was the color matcher for about 6 or 8 months. So I have a little taste of what you go through here. But the idea that
it's not as easy as it looks.
No, it's totally, I mean, because the batches you get from the factory, you were just saying, aren't necessarily totally consistent.
No, they do change a lot, so it's down to your eye really. You can't trust the recipe you've made. It's always got to be by eye.
But at the top of a film, do you then make a couple of 100 pounds of the right pigment and then go and mix up the correct color mixture for the silicones all at once so that everything matches at the top of show? Or is that something that's still an ongoing process?
Now, generally, I'll have a 2-3 month burst at the beginning, depending on the size of production. This has been quite big, so I've had another model maker, Claire, do it with me. We've kind of split it. There's a lot of work actually. It was about 3 months on this film before anything else started.
Wow.
So we come in at the beginning, do all the colour work before anyone, obviously, they can't cast it, they can't do anything without it. So,
how does this clay get delivered to the animators? Is it in chunks out of this machine?
No, so actually, we tend not to use this machine. We've got a bigger machine over here, which I'll show you in a minute. This, we can only do smaller batches. Obviously, on a film, I could do anything up to 12 boxes per colour.
Yeah.
So I'll generally use this for smaller things, like maybe tongue colour, some eyelids, little bits and pieces. We've got some mud, so we've done some mud colour.
Okay.
So this is generally for the smaller pieces.
And the one behind you here is the big machine.
Yeah, so this is the big machine.
Yep.
Call it this extrude, so you've got to constantly be here and cut. So I don't know if do
you want me to put me
yeah,
to work?
Great.
I'll cut.
Do you cut? Do you
So
want
it's just going to start coming out of there?
Yeah, we'll just start coming out of there and just cut when you feel ready.
Okay.
Do you want to start or do you want me to do it?
This one?
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Extruding some modeling. Wow! Oh, look at that! That is so cool! Oh, it's like making Medusa's wig. Oh, and I put that back in the top?
Back in the top, so
This
it
is-
just gets constantly mixed around.
You're processing it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's got to get tiring after a few hours.
Yeah, it can take a few hours. I mean, this stuff, the colour's right on this. What we've got to do with this, we've just got to soften it ever so slightly.
I see. And that means you're adding something like petroleum jelly or linseed
Yeah, well, actually,
oil?
I'm going to do that. I can do that now, actually. This is linseed oil.
Okay.
So this is how much I'm going to put in. I generally just do it over the course of half an hour or so. So I can put a few drops on at a time.
Wow.
There. Some.
It's warm.
So they warm up really quickly, actually.
Yeah.
And that helps the mixing process.
And is that warmth basically just a process of it being extruded?
Yeah, I think it's so tight there, you can feel it. This will get really warm. It will underneath
Yeah.
it's really warm.
And that's
I
just
think
the
that's
friction.
just the force and the friction.
Wow.
It's just pushing it through tiny gaps. Before we used to have a bigger open one, so it's tubes.
Yeah.
It didn't get as hot, but this is a smaller, it's tighter. So it can get very hot after a while.
Really? Oh, it smells great.
You feel it working in your shoulder as well.
This is really, I'm having a great time. This is exactly how I
So
want
you
it
get
to.
the smell of the linseed, the smell of the modelling clay. Actually, this colour's called Spam.
Is it really? That seems totally appropriate. That was deeply satisfying. Thanks for putting me to work, Chad.
No worries, mate.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.